I hopped up from the bar stool and grabbed my bowl. If I left now, I would be 15 minutes early. Probably a good idea, I guessed, as I dumped the leftover cereal in the trash and placed the bowl and spoon in the stainless steel dishwasher. Carl wasn't a tall man, maybe around 5'8", but I still only came up to his shoulders when he moved to stand in front of me. "Use your words, Mallory. I know you're nervous and you've got 100 things going on in your head, but you need to use your words, not shake your head yes or no." Use your words. I squeezed my eyes shut. The therapist I used to see, Dr. Taft, had said that phrase 1,000,000 times over, as had the speech therapist that had worked with me 3 times a week for 2 years. Use your words. That mantra contradicted everything I'd been taught for nearly 13 years, because words equaled noise, and noise was rewarded with fear and violence. Used to equal those things, but not anymore. I hadn't spent nearly 4 years in intensive therapy only to not use my words, and Rosa and Carl hadn't dedicated every moment of their free time to erasing a past full of nightmares, only to watch their efforts fail. Words weren't the problem. They flew through my head like a flock of birds migrating south for the winter. Words were never the problem. I had them, always had them. But it was plucking the words out and putting a voice to them that had always been tricky. I drew in a breath and then swallowed dryly. Yes, I'm ready. A small smile tipped up Carl's lips as he scooped a long strand of hair back from my face. My hair was more brown than red until I stepped outside. Then I turned into a living, breathing crimson fire engine of auburn awkwardness. "You can do this. I completely believe in that. Rosa believes in that. You just have to believe in that, Mallory." My breath hitched in my throat. Thank you. 2 words. They weren't powerful enough because how could they be when Carl and Rosa had saved my life, literally and figuratively? When it came to them, I'd been at the right place at the right moment for all the wrong reasons in the universe. Our story was something straight out of an Oprah special or an ABC Family movie. Unreal. Saying thank you would never be enough after everything they had done for me. And because of everything they had done for me, every opportunity they'd given me, I wanted to be as perfect for them as I could be. I owed that to them. And that was what today was all about. I hurried to the island and grabbed my book bag and keys before I broke down and started crying like a kid who just discovered Santa wasn't real. As if he read my mind, Carl stopped me at the door. "Don't thank me," he said. "Show us." I started to nod, but stopped myself. "Right," I whispered. He smiled then, crinkling the skin around his eyes. "Good luck." Opening the front door, I stepped out on the narrow stoop and into the warm air and bright sun of a late August morning. My gaze drifted over the neatly landscaped front yard that matched the house across the street and was identical to every house in the Point subdivision. Every house. Sometimes it still shocked me that I was living in a place like this, a big home with a yard and flowers artfully planted, with a car in the recently asphalted driveway that was mine. Some days it didn't seem real, like I'd wake up and find myself back. I shook my head, pushing those thoughts away as I approached the decade-old Honda Civic. The car had belonged to Rosa and Carl's real daughter, a high school graduation gift given to Marquette before she left for college to become a doctor, like them. Real daughter. Dr. Taft had always corrected me when I referred to Marquette that way, because he believed it somehow lessened what I was to Carl and Rosa. I hoped he was right, because some days I felt like the big home with the manicured yard. Some days I didn't feel real. Marquette never made it to college, an aneurysm. There 1 minute and gone the next, and there had been nothing anyone could do. I imagined that was something Rosa and Carl had always struggled with. They saved so many lives, but they couldn't save